Hi there, this is yours truly, Clarisse talaga. Wait, name ko lang siya. Yeah. So it's Saturday. Actually, it's very um, not hot day, but wet day. There's some drizzle today, which only started after lunch, which kind of cools off the day kasi it started as a very hot day. Well, anyway, I had not been in this workstation as usual for the last 2 days. I I had decided to give myself a break, relax, and enjoy music and binge watch. That's one of the most realistic and accessible pastime for us nowadays, diba? So, well, anyway, in um, as a film producer, as a filmmaker, short filmmaker, usually when I binge watch, I look forward to watching movies alone with a remote control. Kasi if I have somebody beside me watching it, maiinis sa akin because I tend to and rewind na parang napaka-nonsense. And then yung nanonood ng movie na, you know, somebody, especially someone who just wants to watch and appreciate the storyline, probably enjoying the actors and the actors and the story, diba? So, because I am me, I would repeatedly rewind and pause the the set, the movie, because of the technical details that interest me. Take for example, the effect of embedded music, the sound effects, the camera angles, most especially because I'm also a writer, the kind of dialogue, the language that um, can inspire me to think and to evoke emotions, diba? What kind of dialogue from the actors, from the characters that can, you know, make me sit upright and listen intently, diba? And what will set the mood for me, so I will rewind it. So somebody who is not interested in the things that interest me will really be annoyed. And it's a fact of life that I have annoyed so many people, that I have become so irritating to some people because of some habits that I didn't know back then. So it's important talaga to communicate. Anyway, what I want to say about the embedded music is that in my mind, as I picture, you know, my production, if I will be given a chance to produce something that's not short and that's video that has some, added commercial value to it, what soundtrack will, I get to, picture the ambience, the sound. Will it be old song? Will it be new? And because of this picture, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know it by now, let me say it openly and with much humility. This is actually me in 2009. And the website in the US got to upload it, and we were already in discussion about the tracks, how best to fill it up, the genre for commercial use. But even back then, I knew it was kind of premature because I did not have then the personality and the platform that I have now. Very raw. In Tagalog, it means hilaw na hilaw. So, kumbaga, di ba, there's a proper time for everything, but it doesn't hurt, to prepare. And sometimes that kind of preparation um, takes time, takes years. Because had I filled up my tracks, audiosparks.com, for commercial use, of course, um, I would have nothing to show for it, unlike now. So, yeah, I mean, how was I? How did I look back then? Will those who have seen me in 2009, will those who have discussed my future in music and in short film production, will they remember me now as the person, as the artist, as the content producer that they had talked with back then? But anyway, that will be put to a test. And in the teaser, I said that this track belongs to Microsoft. And it would seem that I am consumer, and this is a good way also to submit to concretize what it is that the music means to me, that I will apply for the right to use this soundtrack. Sana pagbigyan ako. But, it really is up to them, to Microsoft, whether I will be allowed to use this music, this soundtrack. Dahil I have searched and searched the soundtracks, popular songs, if it can be my own soundtrack, but I cannot find one that will capture the moment for me. So today, this Saturday, just this morning, I spent the whole morning rehearsing this track. Actually, this is just the first stanza and the 1/3 of this track before I submit it to Microsoft. Good thing that my friend Mark Sussman, I can mention him because I was the one who asked for time out to talk about more serious business, because equally serious is my eligibility and my legal status here in the Philippines, here in Lucena City. So why don't I let you be the judge of it, whether it can pass, it can be passable, it can be, pwede na to be a soundtrack that along these lines. Who knows what its use is going to be in the near future. So enjoy. Hello, my name is Clarisse. One of the just to see. Hello, my name is Clarisse. One of the many, but just the same. I am me, you are you. We are. Is it you who asked me? Who are we? Feels like your 8 days fine. Later on, I'm gonna ask again. That's it, diba? So it's like it came from my experience of having to explain at like it would seem that rather than be frustrated about the short-term memory loss of everyone that I got to um, explain myself uh, with a recurring theme, I decided, to make a production out of those real experiences. That's uniquely, that's why when I was going over different soundtracks, music, parang wala akong makita that will best encapsulate how it has been to have the name Clarisse and present the concern that I had. So that's it. Well, I would also like to take this opportunity to continue with a series on why I introduced myself as single. If I can explain it in the simplest and purest term, there's a wedding, okay? I'm attending the wedding. And late na ako. So I could see, when I walked to the reception area, to the reception hall, I saw some really dear friends that I want to sit with on the table. Probably the bride and the groom are not there yet. So I looked over and I saw a vacant seat beside this lady that I want to have a chat with, to have a some bonding moments, diba? While waiting for the bride and the groom. Just as I was about to take a seat beside her, she said, "Oh no," in the most polite and sweetest way din naman. "No, Clarisse, you cannot sit here because my husband will sit there." Diba? That for me is the proprietary uh, relationship. Diba? So there is a public manifestation, there's a public testimony so that everyone will know their place. Take for instance, I was a good friend to them both. And I cannot take offense because it's the truth. I cannot sit there. That seat is occupied by someone who has the right to take a seat there. Diba? So um, that for me is the clearest indication when someone is in a relationship or someone has probably going there like a reservation because um, not everything that seems to be is it actually is. So even though the husband was not there yet, he's coming, and so I had to be notified that there is a husband who's coming over and who will take his place beside the wife. So my life for the past decade, after some complications, it was impossible for me to even go out socially with a guy. Why? Is there a husband or a boyfriend will um, that will say, for example, given in role reversal, and that in that I will be the one sitting there with a vacant seat beside me, and then another friend come over, probably a guy, and then just as he was about to take a seat beside me, what should I tell him? Like, can I tell him, no, you cannot sit there because someone will take his place beside me. So that's a public testimony, right? Or that, no, you cannot sit there because it's already reserved, even a reservation for a friend, diba? But if it's like more complicated than that, because that's just a simple example, illustration. But if it's the real thing, like, Clarisse, will you go out with me? Can we go out, like, have not have a drink, because I don't usually drink, but lunch or over dinner? I chose not to go out, not because there was a boyfriend or because my husband has remaining proprietary claim on me. So it's not that. It was by choice because of the complications that I was sorting out. And so, truth be told, that restraint that I had, my priority, had been misconstrued as if I was hiding a relationship with, take for instance, a married man, or some man who cannot be outed, but that the proprietary claim is there. So that's how the years before now had been, to sort it out, the distinction between why I wanted to simplify my legal status, my civil status, versus um, a hidden relationship of some sort. So I'm not going out with anybody, and it's not because I'm in any relationship. I had been truthfully lessening complications due to my super complicated status. That's by choice, and that's me. So how about from the side of the guy? That's another matter, right? And so I want, and in the coming days, you know, um, as I share the relationship status that I'm truly in, like the discussions that I am having with my family with regards of our relationship. It's meant to be that. Um, it's a public, to set it right, so that some wives will be at ease, and that I will not be mistaken for what conducting in public view what has to be done in private, in personal. Like, who would want to enjoy a really, a moment to without camera, to really get to know the person, whether it can work or whether there's a possibility or it's not working. Because from afar, that's why, making diagnosis based on what can be seen on TV, on social media, on, a quotation, on a shared article where spoofing can happen, that is not ethical, and it's not a sound judgment on one's character. For me, I'm old-fashioned that way. I will be looking forward to really getting to know the person. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, because plenty of times you would appreciate probably one aspect of a person, of a friend, of a man or a woman, like you share the same interest, but it's another thing entirely to be in the same place, to work out really what sorting out the bad days and what it does, what problems, what a lousy day can do to a person, to the moods, and whether you can withstand each other. Because the moment, oh my gosh, the moment you have that bad day, and both of you like share a lousy moment, and that you see the rose spectacles is removed, minus the feelings, minus the excitement, and what is before us is the real person, um, outside of his image, out of his brilliance, just a person waking up, what he looks like early in the morning, those sort of things, diba? Parang, because that's the real things. And even though I have plenty of my work on cam, I do know how to differentiate, and how it is to have a meaningful relationship and how I would like it done. It doesn't matter how others nowadays get to do it, how they would start the relationship, build on it, live it, work at it. But for me, um, I would have it, of course, not on cam, but there are aspects of it where I would like to share just so that, to eliminate so much wrong information and fake news about my personal life. That's why I did make a study about, spoofing, because your name, your credentials can be used sometimes to justify an end. We can be the means to an end, and of course, we don't appreciate that. We don't appreciate that. It's our own lookout. I'm speaking from one adult to another. Of course, the minors are in need of guidance, but from one adult to another, it is our own responsibility and look out how our names can be used and what are the available options we have under the law to protect ourselves so we don't get used and we don't get dragged into someone else's private life, and probably they're going through a problem of their own and we don't want to add to the complications. So it's our own lookout. So this is a um, reminder from one adult, not adulting, from one adult to another. And the things that I feel safe to share about my personal life and about my relationship, I would make sure that the feelings would be mutual, in that I will not cause embarrassment or I will not put someone on the spot because of what I said already, diba? So it's the time's almost up. And once again, kasi kanina medyo nagkaroon ng technical problem. Please appreciate the soundtrack that I want to be one of the soundtracks that I will be known with, that I will be known as. Hello, my name is Clarisse, one of the many, but just the same. I am me, you are you, we are who we are. Is it you who asked me who are we? Feels like your A.K.A is fine. Later on, I'm gonna ask again. Time to be distant, isolate. Don't get sick, it's sickening. Time Hello, my name is Clarisse. I am Clarisse, that's for real. So until next time, this is yours truly, Clarisse.